We're here putting together a FlyBy. Comes in a box just like you see here. You can go ahead and get that opened up. These are packed nice and tight for you guys, so bear with me a moment. We're going to get all our packing material out. Reach in here. We've got what appears to be a handlebar extension. Go ahead and stick this off to the side. Might need some help with this. Pulling this out. This is the handlebars all attached. We'll go ahead and get this out of the way. Put our unit down on the ground. Get the instruction book out. We'll go ahead and get this assembled so you guys can get out there and start riding. We've got our instruction packet, 2 Allen wrenches. Go ahead and take those out. Get that instruction book open. Got my parts here, my scissors. We'll make sure when we open our instruction book, this first model that you see is called the HotShot. For the HotShot and the FlyBy is almost identical. So you can use this application to assemble a HotShot. As we're looking at the instructions, we've got our tools here, we've got a pair of scissors. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to use this wrench to assemble the tire. The tire is located on the back here, so I want to go ahead and take my tire off, which is here. And if you'll notice, the tire has a little screw coming through the middle of it. And it's got an Allen wrench head on the end. They're not very tight, so you can go ahead and loosen that by hand. And we'll go ahead and take that whole piece out. Put my tire down. And we want to go ahead, get this ready to accept the wheel. Lots of good packaging here. You'll have a little plastic piece, kind of a protector. Go ahead and take that off. That's not going to be used for anything, so that will be discarded. While we're here, we'll go ahead and take off some of this packaging. Got our opportunity to see the assembly. You'll also notice on the top here, which we'll go ahead and leave on for a moment, a little plastic cover that just protects us so no sharp edges, we don't injure ourselves. We're going to go ahead and take the tire. Doesn't matter what side you use. We'll go ahead and stick this in the middle, and it will rest here. And again, this could be challenging at times with one person, but we've got the bolt. We'll go ahead and and the bolt can go from either side. Doesn't matter if you choose the left or the right side. Go ahead and push that all the way through. And then the nut, which is on the other side, I'm going to go ahead and begin to thread that in. And be patient. If it doesn't go in right immediately, if you need to go get some help, because you're going to have to take tension off that front wheel to get it started. And once you get it started, then, and what I usually do is, if you'll notice, I'm holding the front tire up just enough to get it started, and then I want to screw it in there just finger tight so that it doesn't fall off. And what you'll need to do is you'll need to use both Allen wrenches. So you want to find the side that fits. This one, these two are going to be a little smaller. They're notched out so you can see the difference. A little smaller. Go ahead and insert one into one side. Hold that firmly, and the other one on the other side. And just tighten that down. And it doesn't have to be so tight that you can't turn it anymore. Just nice and firm. So now you've got the front tire on. With the FlyBy, you'll notice if I take the tape off, the 2 pedals are already assembled. So everything's done here. It's got a kickstand. I go ahead and set my kickstand down. So you guys, in essence, we're almost finished. The next thing we want to do is attach the lower stem Remember we talked about you had two pieces here. Get my scissors back out. That's one, if I'm looking at the instructions, that's going to be piece D, and then I've got the long stem, which is going to be piece A. And again, they've done a tremendous job of wrapping this stuff up, so be patient, get all that cut apart. I'm pulling that out. If you'll notice, go ahead and take this plastic cap off. This little bracket here, it's kind of notched out here. You'll see the notches here and over here. And if you're able to look on the, let me spin this around, you'll see a little button that we can press in. That's going to actually keep this stem in place. I'm going to loosen that up. I'm going to slide this down over the top. Going to have to work it a little, and then remember that spring, it's a little spring loaded. You hear that click. Let me turn this around for you to see. This little silver piece is going to line up with the center. Once it's all the way down, it will release. It's spring activated. Once it releases, you'll see that this doesn't come off. And I can turn around, loosen this up just a bit if I want to, and go ahead and clamp it down. And again, remember, we're going to come back and tighten all our pieces. The next assembly will be the second arm. We've got our spring-loaded mechanism here. And we've got a little groove in the pipe. This groove is going to line up on the inside, so if you look down, you'll see the little groove. It'll line up. And again, spring-loaded, so I'm going to push the spring in, slide it down, and then what you'll see is, you notice how it clicks here. And we've got 3 different ways to adjust the handlebar. So it can even go second, go all the way down to the third. For assembly purposes, it has no relevance of where you put it, whatever's comfortable for you. And again, this is going to be the bracket that tightens this up. We're almost finished. As you can tell, the last thing we need to do with the directions is go ahead and assemble our handlebar. Handlebar is already packaged. We'll go ahead and cut this off. Looking brand new. There's my handlebars. If you'll notice here, I've got 2 screws at the top. And again, remember my tool, my Allen wrench. I'm going to use that. Got to find the right side. This one, we talked about one that's notched out. This other one, a little fatter on the end. Find the right place there. And then just unwinding it, because this already comes together, so we're going to have to take this off in order to assemble our handlebar. So both sides. Just unscrew it to a point where you can lift right off and do the rest by hand. You'll notice again this has got a washer on it, so try to keep that washer on there. Going to take that off. And then here's our handlebar. And notice on the handlebar you've got indentions in the handlebar, so it's already grooved and notched out. This is going to be your point of reference, so when I put that handlebar on there, I want to make sure that those indentions or grooves line up in the center. And again, I don't want to put it off to the left or right, and this kind of takes the guesswork out of it. So use those as an alignment as you assemble the handlebars. So as we took them off, we're going to do just the opposite, and we're going to turn around and put them right back on, and then use my Allen wrench, and then just gently tightening down until it grips. And one thing that you guys can think about, everybody likes the handlebars in a different position. This gives you a little bit of flexibility about adjusting those handlebars before you tighten it down. So you might have a child that wants his brake up a little higher, one down, so there's no set way on the position of the handlebars. So, I mean, moms, if you're out there and you're afraid that you didn't do it right, don't panic. Once your child, he or she rides, come back, ask them how they liked it. They may say, I like the brakes down more, I like them back more. All you got to do is loosen these 2 screws up, adjust the handlebars the way they like it, then turn around and tighten it right back down. So very, very simple there. And again, just kind of eyeballing it, try to get it as centered as you can. Tighten one, in there on the other one. This you want to make sure is nice and tight, because if they are riding and this wobbles, it's going to be difficult to control. Apologize for that. And again, like anything else, before you go out and ride it, you want to make sure, there's just several things that you want to check on this, but you want to make sure that everything is nice and snug. So that's nice and tight. And again, we're going to come back and make sure the handlebars, or the arm here is tight. So by screwing this to the left, opens it up. Screwing it to the right creates more tension. So when you actually put the clasp on, or the locking mechanism, if it's too loose, go ahead and give it a couple more turns. You don't want to get it so tight that you can't engage that arm. And the same thing on the bottom, we're going to go down here. And I can tell right now that's nice and tight. So you can take that apart, take your brake cable, go ahead and feed it through those steady fingers, and go ahead and get it nice and tight, and that will keep your brake cable out of the way. And there you have it. So what you've got is you've got the assembly of the FlyBy. And again, the FlyBy is almost exactly like the HotShot. Very self-explanatory, very easy. Pedals come pre-assembled. In essence, all we're doing is putting the front tire on, one bolt, putting the shaft on here, and the handlebars. You're good to go.